Welcome back to the channel, guys, the Psychotic Circus of Savannah. Today we're going to talk about Party City / Halloween City's animatronic lineup. Party City emailed me over some high-resolution videos and photos and descriptions of pretty much everything that they're rolling out this year. So I figured I would go ahead and show them to you, and together we can rate them on a 5-step pad scale. Without further ado, run the intro and let's get right into it. So first up is Cackles the Clown. This clown has been one of the most talked about props this year for a couple different reasons. First off, his price tag is $499. It seems very steep. Now, I'm saying that without having laid eyes on him directly, but 500 bucks for a prop seems very expensive. I do wish that he kind of had some mouth movement, but I do like that it seems that he has the LED tubing in his face, similar to how Spirit Halloween's Punchy the Clown has. That means that his eye makeup and his mouth is actually going to light up really nice at nighttime. His face looks really creepy. He has this big, round, oversized nose, even for his oversized face. His teeth are really sharp, and he even has a little bit of black blood dripping from his mouth. He only has 1 point of movement, and I'm not sure really how strong of a motor you have to have articulation in a 12-foot prop. I don't own any 12-foot props. I do wish that there was maybe some mouth movement or some arm movement. His head just turning back and forth does not really say $500 to me, but I do think that just based off of his size alone, he will definitely stand out in anybody's home haunt. My wife Amy has been wanting the 12-foot skeleton from Home Depot for quite some time, and everybody has said, hey, convert it into a clown, and now I don't have to, and I'm really happy about that. Even with a $500 price tag, I'm gonna give Cackles the Clown 5 step pads.
I got $500 in cash.
And you may be wondering why we're using these step pads here. Party City is actually releasing these step pads this year. I'm not a huge fan of step pads, but if I was gonna use some, I would definitely prefer these creepy, skeleton-y, pumpkin-y step pads. The step pads are also gonna get 5 step pads. Next is the light up talking Circus popcorn pop-up clown. I had to say that like 5 times just to get the name right. It's 219 bucks. This is the price tag I want to see when it comes to my props. It's a great jump scare. It's something that's original. It totally matches my home haunt because we give out popcorn to our trick-or-treaters. So it's a perfect way to incorporate a jump scare in a place that nobody will really be expecting it. Now, according to the video, he seems to pop up pretty quick. I do hope that somebody has to actually push the button in order to get him to pop up. I don't think that this would work well on constant movement or even on a sensor movement. The person's gonna have their guard down. They're not gonna see a million other people reacting to the prop. And I just think that it's a really, really good hidden jump scare. I do think that once I see it face to face, I may want to add some real popcorn pieces to the inside because I'm not sure how well plastic popcorn is when it comes to deceiving somebody's eye. I think that overall though, this is a great prop, a great price. I love that the clown that pops up is the same clown that's printed in the back. Overall, I'm gonna give this guy 4.5 step pads.
What's poppin'?
Next up is the light up flaming pumpkin. I don't have much to say about this guy. He's only 40 bucks. I really like his rotten look. I love the LED flame inside. I think it's a good price for a pumpkin that is not necessarily traditional and can give your home haunt a bit of a scarier vibe. 40 bucks, it's a great price. I give him 4 step pads.
Happiness is just a flaming away.
Next up is the light up talking demon with fog effect. I love this dude's look. It's very scary. I love the concept of the fog shooting out of the horns. I love that his body and his head kind of move at different times. It really gives it a natural, fluid feeling to it. I love that he has the goat feet. I love that he has the tail. even though he doesn't have the same head as a Baphomet character, he definitely gives off the Baphomet vibe. This guy is not cartoony at all. He's very scary. You can see in the videos that whether he's in a dark place or a more well-lit place, it's really not gonna change his scare factor. And at 270 bucks, this is the perfect price for an animatronic that is this quality. I'm gonna give this dude 5 step pads. Here we have the Creepshow animatronic. I am a huge fan of the Creepshow show. I've never really read the comic books, but I'm aware of them. I've always been aware of them. Now, I'm not sure of what his price tag is yet because they didn't notify me what that price was, but I really love the quality. It looks exactly like the Creepshow Creeper looks. I am a little disappointed that they gave this guy mouth movement with no body movement. I'm a fan of animatronics that have mouth movement when they have extended dialogue. This guy, he pretty much just laughs and gurgles, and so I don't know if the mouth movement was necessary. I would have preferred that he moved back to back or even lifted up the comic book every once in a while. Now, even though I know that there's been a couple other licensed characters that have been released, like Reagan from Spirit Halloween, and there's a Michael Myers that's being released from Party City this year, I do think that this is the best licensed animatronic to come out this year because it's not something that anybody was really expecting. It really is a nice niche product that a fan of Creepshow would really love, and if you're not a fan of Creepshow, you would still kind of be creeped out by this guy. Overall, I'd give the Creepshow animatronic 4 step pads.
But I'm a creep.
Next up is Vengeful Vicky, or Pumpkin Carver, or Carly Carver. At this point, I really don't know what to call her. This was originally released by Spirit Halloween in 2016 under the name Lunging Pumpkin Carver. Then in 2018, it was switched to Carly Carver and released by Party City. And then last year, Morris Costumes released a reskin of the same concept that's a little more gruesome, but in my opinion, doesn't look as cool. I'm still not sure which one Party City is releasing because they sent me video of the old version, yet the new version shows up on some of their promo material, but not all of their promo material. So I'm not sure which one we're actually reviewing here. I don't really understand the need for a name change, and realistically, this is a prop that we've now had for like 6 years, whether it's a reskin or not. It's a cool prop. I mean, it's one of those staple props that I think everybody either liked at one time or might still like, but I'd really like to see something else in its place. Overall, I mean, it's a decent quality prop. I'll give it 3.5 step pads.
I'm an artist. I carve pumpkins.
This is Rising Woman. This is a really neat prop. It's not a jump scare, but it's still very creepy, very scary. It's only $180, which again is a price that I love. And she kind of looks like she's levitating off of a stool. The chains holding her down actually start coming up off of the ground. It's a very, very creepy concept for an animatronic. The price seems to be a really good deal. I do wish that we could hear her audio because her description says that she's screaming in torment or something of that nature. And I also think that you might get the illusion ruined when you're not facing the prop head on. From the side, you'd be able to see the mech that lifts her. So I'm really not sure exactly how well you'd be able to showcase this prop in a convincing manner. But it's under 200 bucks, it's something original, and it's something creepy. I'll give it 4 step pads.
Got a black magic woman.
This is Torture Box Woman, and by far is the creepiest prop that Party City is releasing this year. She has a good price of only $200. She's super creepy, she's scary. It almost gives you like a sense of anxiety. There's a lot of blood that's being used. I'm really happy that Party City is going a bit gorier than some of its competitors. And actually a lot of the props that Party City is releasing seem to be incorporating some version of blood with it, which I kind of like. Her concept is not really original, just rocking back and forth, but the speed and the way that it moves the body and the head independently really give this a refreshing feel. It makes it stand out a bit more. Her body rocks back and forth, but her head actually goes forward and backwards. It's just all together. It's creepy. I don't like it so much that I love it. I'm gonna give this 5 step pads.
Torture, motherfucker.
Torture, nigga, what?
This is Lantern Jack. What do I say? I mean, his hands don't match the color of his face. There's no movement. It looks like a prop from 1997, and I don't mean that in a good way. I'm gonna give this 1 step pad.
That shit was whack!
These are the light up talking Brim twins. They're priced around 30 bucks, I think, but realistically, you couldn't pay me to take these. This is incredibly lame. This is something that you would give to your grandmother. It's like one of those props that when you walk up to someone's house when you're trick-or-treating, they would just have like both of these sitting next to the door. There'd be no pumpkin, there'd be no cobwebs. Some old woman answers the door and gives you your nickel Snickers. It's just not good. I mean, I think it would be great for, well, I don't think it'd be great at all. 1 step pad.
Grin ghosts come out to socialize.
This is the zombie raccoon trash can pop out. And I'm not really a fan of this. I feel like Party City really had some good props at the beginning of this rollout, and now we're seeing stuff like this. I mean, it doesn't look like a trash can. I don't think it's really gonna scare anybody because you can see the raccoon's red eyes the whole time. There's strips of fabric hanging from the top of the trash can. It's just whack. I'm not a fan of this. It's 160 bucks, and I mean, it might scare some littler kids. I'll give it 2 step pads.
I'm a raccoon.
Now this here is the zombie clown with fog. This is one of those basic groundbreaker fog guys. It's just a clown version. I did notice that his hands are similar to the twitching clown that was released a few years ago. I'm not sure if he has any sound. I don't believe he would. If he did, that might be a plus, but I don't think it's necessary. I also don't know the price of this guy, but if the price was right, I would get him. If it was anything over 120 bucks, I probably wouldn't give it a second look. I'd give it 2.5 step pads.
You talk about groundbreaking.
This is the light up zombie snake, and this thing sucks. It's 50 bucks, it's stupid, it's not scary. I'm not sure how Party City can knock the ball out of the park with some of these props and then release something as lame as this. It doesn't even bend where it would bend. The whole thing is, nobody would even get close to it because they can see from a million miles away, hey, that snake is gonna lunge forward at me. It's not scary at all. 1 step pad.
There's a snake in my boot.
But next is the zombie Vulture. And even though it's the same price, I have a completely different opinion on it. This could be a really nice accent piece when it comes to somebody's graveyard. They made the skin look realistic on the neck and the face. And you know, it has movement that's not this fake jump scare like the snake was. I do wish that the feathers around the neck were a little more dingy and dirty, but overall, I actually like this guy. I'd give it 3.5 step pads. Next up is the animated Chucky doll. It's only 40 bucks. The price is outstanding. I'm not really a fan of his light up eyes because Chucky's eyes never really lit up that way. Just because you can make something light up doesn't necessarily mean that you should. I do think that it's a great price for a prop that actually looks like Chucky. I'd give it 3.5 step pads.
I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Next is the Halloween 2 Michael Myers for $220. I don't know if the price tag was just them playing off of Halloween 2 for $222. I don't know, whatever. I don't know what's wrong with this, but there's something that's wrong with it. For some reason, it's like extremely hard for a manufacturer to make Michael Myers look right. I know it's been done in the past, but in this case, this ain't it. I also don't know why they would choose to market this as Halloween 2 as opposed to the first Halloween, because Halloween 2 doesn't have the best reviews, especially compared to the original. Overall, I'd give it 3.5 step pads. This is the light up talking towering witch. Now it's 350 bucks. That's $50 more than the witch from Home Depot, yet 2 feet shorter. I think that the detail on the Home Depot one is better. If you're gonna be buying a gigantic witch, I'd probably go with that one. The concept is completely different with the Home Depot prop versus this one. This one's just standing still, whereas the Home Depot one seems like it's flying through the air. I also don't understand why it would be so tall. A witch is just a human that practices witchcraft. Why there would be a 12-foot human, I'm not sure. It may fit well if you have a bunch of oversized props, but I don't see how this would fit with your normal witch type of vibe. Now I'm confused by this one too, because there's some photos that seem to be a 12-foot witch with digi eyes, yet the video seems to be this. And realistically, if it's this version, I wouldn't even offend the other props by giving this one a step pad. If it's the other version, I think I'd give it maybe 3.5, four step pads. I think it deserves 4.
That's a huge bitch.
This is the light up talking ice cream clown yard steak. He's 7.5 feet tall. I don't know the price of him just yet, but I love his look and absolutely hate that he's on a steak. Why didn't we just give him some damn legs?
But you ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dane.
I love the look of the ice cream cone. The quality of it just seems like something from a much more expensive prop. I may get this guy and actually just make his legs myself. I don't believe he has any movement, but this is still a really good price for a static prop, 130 bucks. If I make him some legs, it might cost me another 20 to 25 bucks, and overall, I think I'd be super happy with it. I'll give the guy 3.5 step pads.
I have no legs.
Now, I haven't seen any of these props face to face just yet, but I will say that overall, this is by far Party City's strongest rollout. And even though I am really blown away by some of their props, they still have quite a bit of ways to go. I can tell that based off of the gore and the blood that they're using, that they're kind of gunning for both Spirit Halloween's spot, and also with the larger props, they're trying to get in with Home Depot's spot. I will say, as a home haunter, I'm glad to see that there's more competition, because we get a variety of items that we can purchase from different retailers and different price points. Speaking of, some of these price points were a little extreme, like Cackles, for instance, and other price points were right on target. Again, I haven't seen any of these props face to face, but it's hard for me to justify a $500 prop when I know I can go to Home Depot and get a prop the same size for less than half. But tell me what you think. Do you think that Party City had the best rollout of all Halloween retailers this year? Leave a comment below. Remember to like, remember to subscribe, and as always, happy haunts.